The knower is already there, has the connection already connected. Perceptions and objects of perceptions already connected. Just purifies instantly, not related to either relating or not relating. That which has nothing to do with engaging or disengaging, the conclusion that purifies through the extinction. Who is it that doesn't have power? Everyone has it. The knower itself has its own power. It's the first one. The Yan is the first one. The knower has its power. It's the power of Yan. So just not related to engaging and disengaging right away. Step back from engaging and disengaging. Nothing is within engaging or disengaging, not related to engaging or disengaging. Purify through the extinction instantly. The knower is there, doesn't matter. The power is there, it doesn't matter. It's already there. If you're training more of it, it will become the act of the suffering. It's called practicing the act of the suffering. Practicing the suffering act. And then all the karmic difficulties that has been trained from before, which is called special power, like this, like that, will be coming out. You can look at each one of us. Step back from attachment and non-attachments constantly, so that it will not be at the superficial. This will be purifying through the extinction clearly. Open eyes and ears like this. Step back further from attachment and non-attachment constantly. Step back further. Again and again. Don't be stuck with just engaging or disengaging, attachment or non-attachment. Even disengaging is already called cutting. But step back further from it. It will be beyond cutting or not cutting. It will not be just about cutting or not cutting, extinction or non-extinction, stillness or not, indifference or not. It will be beyond this. Cutting or not cutting, being still or not still, indifferent or not indifferent. If you carelessly being obsessed with something, the reminders that has been cutting within itself will be there to purify it. If you are carelessly being preoccupied with anything, the reminders will be there. The cutting will be there within itself. This will become automatic. This sentence or that sentence will be put out as the reminders automatically. The cutting will be there automatically within itself. But you need to assume the great compassion constantly. Don't let it be happening all by itself. You have to assume the great compassion. You have to proceed it. Don't let it move by itself. When is it is going to happen? When? Which time? This will turn into blessing beings in the way of pigs blessing beings. Not related to either relating or not relating with everything constantly, then automatically everything will not be related, will not be relevant. With the whole samsara, it will turn into unwinding, discarding unwinding. Instead of binding one's own legs, one's own neck, it will be in the way of helping through liberation altogether. This is not to wait until it's happening by itself. The great compassion doesn't happen in the way of happening all by itself. The blessing doesn't happen all by itself. That doesn't exist. It has to be assumed up. Whenever samsara and beings don't exist, then the great compassion will be stopped, assumed up. It will be by not having the not having itself all the same. It will be by not having and not having all the same. Nibbana all the same. So what is there that is going to be assumed up in such a situation? Each one doesn't have even having and not having all the same. That's it. What is there that is going to be assumed up for? Having and not having doesn't exist. It's beyond happening all by itself, and also beyond assuming up or not assuming up. Even you assume up the great compassion, it purifies itself already within itself. It doesn't become samsara. The great compassion is not classified as samsara. This assumed up is not samsara because it has auto-purification in itself. It's not assumed up and fixated to itself. It's not the assumed up great compassion that is fixated to itself. It's unlike samsara. Instead, it purifies samsara. All of a sudden, you want it to not related by itself. Not related all by itself, it's already as it is. It's not related to either relating or not relating, already as it is. There is no need to be awaiting for it to not related. It's not related already as it is. Don't wait for it. It's just like the Arahant path, waiting for the completion, for the perfection, is complete and perfect in itself already as it is. That which is not grasping, even for grasping and non-grasping, as it is. Whenever you are waiting, it becomes the cause of the suffering, the samudaya. Even a tiny bit of a thought like that becomes samudaya, the cause of suffering and the suffering. It is the desire. It is the state of the desire that is instantly popping up. Use it to bless with this conclusion right away. There is no need to be for the purpose of Nibbana. Make a conclusion towards ending as a blessing right away. The true origin doesn't have anything to do with relating or not relating already as it is. All that is assumed up. It will purify all the delusion of relating and not relating in a new way, because the true origin doesn't have this relating or not relating. We have to assume up this not relating to relating or not relating will purify the delusion of the new way of relating or not relating. It will purify this kind of samsara. The great compassion of the formed up of the body and mind is not called the cycle of birth and rebirth. It is the realms of existence that purify itself, because it's not aiming towards bindings and creating bondages. It's not called the cycle of birth and rebirth. It is the assumed up of body-mind that purifies its realms of existence and lifetimes. It's not in the way of grasping for the sake of itself. Therefore, it's not considered as the circling. Even it's assumed up as birthing and dying. But it is not for the sake of lifetimes. Therefore, it's not in the status of being samsara. The great compassion has the formed up as form and formlessness, body and mind, with arising and ceasing in itself. But it is the arising and ceasing that doesn't grasp for the arising and ceasing. Therefore, it's not becoming samsara of the arising and ceasing, just forming up according to the samudaya of the samsara that still exists. And we just form up only temporarily to purify accordingly. This assumed up doesn't grasp for itself accordingly, without fixation to itself accordingly. Therefore, all the great compassion that formed up the lifetime as body-mind is not called samsara, because all of them don't grasp for the lifetimes. They don't grasp for the birth or the death. Therefore, it's not circling in the way of the commoners of samsara. It's the great compassion that purifies itself, the formed up that purifies itself. It's not the assumed up, the life in order for the sake of life or for death. It's not in the way of grasping for the living. They live in the way of purifying the living, not grasping for the sake of the living. They live in the way of purifying the living. That which is not related to relating or not relating will purify everything. It's unlock all the bindings that has been fixated from the past totally. It's the living that doesn't grasp for itself, no fixation to itself. Therefore, it's not considered as samsara. Even the life is still there. It's not considered as samsara. If there is a setup that is overlaying to grasp for something, then it becomes samsara right away.
นั่นเจ้าบโลกกี่ครั้งก็ตามทีมันก็มาจากไม่เอาตัวไม่เอาเองอยู่แล้ว
Therefore, no matter how many times that has been assumed up the body and mind, it's from not grasping for the non-grasping as it is. The body mind that is formed up doesn't grasp for itself, it's not for the sake of itself, because the origin is from the great compassion, from not grasping for either grasping or not grasping.
จึงเป็นที่มา
That's why
ล้างทุกสิ่งอย่างล้างทั้งสังสารวัฏและไม่ใช่สังสารวัฏ
the phrases Nibbana, purifying all and everything, that which is samsara or not samsara, the emptiness, purifying all and everything without separation, without division, purifying everything that is samsara and not samsara, all evenly. Emptiness purifies everything, whether it is the beings or not, it purifies everything. That which has nothing to do with engaging or disengaging purifies everything altogether.
ดังนั้นในคตินิยมคำว่าโปรดสัตว์ได้ล้างทิ้งไม่ได้เลย
The belief values about blessing all beings should be purified and discarded.
ก็คือทุกอย่างก็ว่างล้างไร้ร่องรอยล้างดับล้างว่างล้าง
Purify through the emptiness and extinction for everything,
ไม่ใช่เฉพาะแค่
not just the beings
หรือสังสารวัฏกับภูมิ
or samsara of realms of existence. Everything,
ไม่เกี่ยวทั้ง
not related to either relating or not relating, for everything.
ไม่ใช่แค่สรรพสัตว์
It's not just
ไม่ใช่แค่
sentient
แค่
beings
แกะ
or just goats
ไม่
and
ใช่
sheep,
แค่มนุษย์อมนุษย์
not just humans or non-humans, but everything, every particles and atoms in this physical world. Includes everything, the sky, the weather,
เดี๋ยว
the soil,
หลวงพ่อ
the
พูด
earth,
ให้พวกเราฟัง
all and everything. Everything all at once. It's not just for saying all this for us or for
เมื่อ
anyone.
วันก่อนพี่ลิมบอกไงพูด
Because
ให้แกะฟังด้วยใช่ไหม
Someone have asked หลวงพ่อ
แสดงแมงตัวน้อย
just to say this for
แม้แต่มดแสดงแมงตัวน้อย
the goats, the sheep,
โขดหินดินทรายต้นไม้ใบหญ้า
everything included,
everything
the pebbles, the sands, the soils, the rocks, the trees, the grass, all and everything included.